So I think these locks are going to be my new favorite style, these extra boho, extra messy locks, whatever you want to call them. But what makes them my favorite is I was literally able to cut my install time in half. And I'm going to show y'all exactly how I did that in the video. So first things first, this video is sponsored by Hot Braids. They sent me the human hair curly pieces that I used for this style, and they sent me 22 inches in the texture semi-curly. And everything else I used to achieve this look was from my local beauty supply. All right, so let me put y'all on game because this saved me a whole lot of time. So after sectioning my hair when I'm installing these, I pull my hair through the loop of the crochet lock. Next, I'm going to create a braid with the crochet lock in my hair, and this is what is actually going to serve as my anchor braid for the locks. Then I'm going to 2-strand twist my hair the rest of the way down, and this really helps with takedown time, and it also helps in preventing like tangles during takedown. Another thing that I did differently when installing these locks is when I wrap my locks, instead of crocheting through the top of my braid, I just started wrapping directly at the top, and I feel like this will really help in preventing tangles when you are taking down your locks. So when I was adding in the hair, I let the straight pieces of the hair be my guide. So any part of the curly hair, the human hair that was straight, was wrapped into the lock. And I added it by first adding it in upside down, wrapping around it a couple of times, folding the hair over, wrapping around it a couple of times, then pulling it out and continuing to wrap down the lock. So for these particular locks, I ended up adding 3 pieces of human hair per lock, one at the top, one in the middle, and one at the very end of the lock. If I could go back and do it over again, not only would I add in thicker pieces, but I would probably do 4 pieces instead of just the 3. So I've done locks before, but I've never installed them this way. And so since this was my first time doing them this way and I decided to record, I also wanted to tell y'all what ended up working well for this install process and what did not work well. The number one thing that worked well is using these crochet locks as a base. It saved me so much time. I will never do it any other way now that I've done it this way. I promise you, you will not regret it if you try it, especially if your hair is fine and not very thick. Second thing that worked really well was doing the 2-strand twist instead of braiding my hair all the way to the end. Not only did that save me a tremendous amount of time as well, but it made the takedown process so much easier.
Keep my hand in the fire. Won't learn my lesson till I let it burn, but never lose my desire. Had it from the moment that I felt my first love. I knew I'd never get enough of you. I'll take the risk like I'm bulletproof. Shots in my heart, but it bleeds the truth. A part of every little thing I do, like a tattoo. Just like a tattoo, I'll always have you. Ooh, like a tattoo. Just like a tattoo, I'll always have you. visions fade away. Can't think with my head, my gut won't let me change. Try to deny, but you beg me to take. If I end as the loser, it'd be worth the game. Cause I can never get enough of you. I'll take the risk like I'm bulletproof. Always on my heart like a tattoo. A part of every little thing I do. Like a tattoo.
So now I'm gonna get into a couple of things that didn't work so well and definitely could have had a better process. And one of those things is how I secured the curly human hair at the end of the lock. So I added in the hair exactly the same way I added in the other pieces, but what I did was continue to wrap down the lock until there was no more of the wrapping hair left. Then I would cut off the end of the excess crochet lock. So my theory was, as long as I wrapped it tightly, they would not unravel. And although none of them did unravel, the ends did start to loosen up, and I did not like that. So after I had these installed for like a week or so, I ended up going back in and securing the ends of the locks with a little bit of nail glue. And baby, this was kind of tedious. So I would just add that step in, or add some type of knotting process to the end of your lock to secure that human hair piece and to secure the end of your lock. And the last thing that I wanted to mention that worked okay but could have probably worked a little bit better is the way that I secured the human hair pieces into the lock. I think I needed to wrap around a little bit more so that they were more secure, because when I was doing maintenance on this style and detangling some of the human hair pieces, some of them would brush right out with detangling. Now overall, like I said, this method did work well, but I want to say like in total, I maybe lost like 5 boho curly pieces. Nonetheless, I still really do like how everything turned out. I'm just gonna have to tweak it and get better at the style over time. Me specifically, I feel like this style looks better as it ages, as it starts to get more frizzy, because it does look more natural to me. But like I said, that is all personal preference. So the locks were about a week and a half old right here, and this is when I really feel like they started to pop out. They just started to look so beautiful, like more natural, less uniform, and all that good stuff. But anyway, that is it. I hope y'all enjoyed the tutorial and found it useful. If you have any questions, leave them down below, and I'll catch y'all next time.